It is the book of Isaiah, chapter 8, verse 21. And they shall pass through it, hardly be stead and hungry. And it shall come to pass that when they shall be hungry, they shall fret themselves and curse their king and their power, and look upward. And they shall look unto the earth, and behold trouble and darkness, dimness of anguish, and they shall be driven to darkness. Isaiah chapter 8, verse 21 and 22. Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rachakudash. Double honors to our venerable apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and peace and blessings to the Lord's elect, the house of David. Alright, so brother Haran coming back at you with another lesson, Lord willing to be edifying and uplifting unto the elect. Alright, I want to go into this article real quick. Okay, going into the times that we're in. Okay, it says, electromagnetic pulse expert warns EMP is biggest danger to America. One of the nation's leading experts on electromagnetic pulses warned that an EMP blast is the biggest danger to the United States because it could disable the entire electrical grid. Renowned author and military historian William Forstchen told the Washington Examiner in a recent interview that the blast from an EMP would devastate the U.S. because America's electrical infrastructure is outdated and ill-equipped to handle the sudden loss of electricity caused by the blast. It says, we're very vulnerable to this type of attack, Forstchen warned. Increased tensions with China is a very worrisome thing. It would not necessarily be China that would do it, but if 3 of these were delivered over the United States by ballistic missile and detonated 200 miles above the Earth's atmosphere, they would short out our entire power grid and take us out of line. Okay, take us offline, Salat. All right, and this is something going back 2 years ago. All right, was it Cyber Polygon? Okay, and the World Economic Forum we're talking about, including this guy Klaus Schwab, he said it that in a frightening scenario, in a cyber attack, global cyber attack, basically it will make the C-19 demic, all right, look like a walk in the park. All right, and I did videos on that. Multiple other brothers and prophets, also did videos on that to let you know that eventually America is going to be a land of darkness. Okay, this is one of the plagues, the 10 plagues that the Lord hit, all right, Egypt with, ancient Egypt. All right, and the scriptures tell you that the Lord said that the same plagues that he hit Egypt with, he's going to hit this modern day Egypt with. Okay, and an EMP will definitely do that damage. All right, and will definitely, all right, cause, all right, a lot of things to unravel quickly. Okay, because again, Americans, so-called typical Babylonian person is, stuck in their ways of so-called tradition, so-called culture is a thing. Especially these millennials today, all they know is electricity, electrical gadgets, and so on and so forth. So a time, not just one day, not 2 days, not 1 week, not 2 months, but it's a strategy for them to restructure everything, this new so-called metaverse, this new world order, whatever, all right, for it to actually start building into something, all right, that people can actually feel, okay, be affected by. They have to get everyone's attention, and then at that point, those who don't wish to comply, they'll be either eliminated, all right, and those who are iffy, they'll be re-educated. All right, it says, according to congressional studies, upwards of 90% of all Americans would perish within a year. You hear that? Within a year, upwards of 90% of Americans. All right. It says, it is a very real and serious threat. Our entire infrastructure is antiquated. We must modernize it. What does that mean? That means that the system has to go down before they can modernize it. So always remember cui bono. Okay, who stands to benefit? All right, and it ain't gonna be China. He said it. It's definitely not gonna be Russia. It's gonna be an inside thing. Okay. It says an EMP caused by the detonation of a nuclear weapon would cause chaos in the country because of the pivotal role that electricity plays in everyday life, Forstchen said. All right, and that's a perfect scenario. Okay, auto app KO. All right, problem reaction solution. All right, now at this point, with the way the world is going, hey man, to hell with the inhabitants of this place, man. May the Most High bring that heavy judgment on these people. If you see what's going on around the world, I mean, you don't feel bad. Okay, that calamity, pain, and suffering is coming for these people, man. These motherfuckers are waxing worse and worse. It's like the pandemic really put people on a whole nother level of wickedness. It's crazy, you know? And I can't wait for the Most High to turn up the judgment on these people. It says, quote, once we lose that basic fundamental building block of our society, electricity, where do you get your water, right? And you know, going 2 days without water is a bitch, man. Going 3 days without water is a whole hope. Going 4 days without water, Lord have mercy. You know, for those of us who, you know, we go long periods of time, you know, afflicting ourselves, you know, building ourselves up in the faith. These people don't do that. They have no clue. Okay? They have no knowledge of how nature actually works. And guess what? Esau is strategically doing this before he blows out the power. Okay, you notice what terrorist attacks he's committing on the people, and they don't even know it. Right? And I remember earlier this year, I did a video going into the whole processing plants, and all of a sudden there was fires everywhere. And then through the spirit, you know, saying that you know, this year is going to be what the theme is going to be fire, because it's a foreshadowing of what America is going to be looking like. Okay, in the very near future, because when you look at a lot of this these fires that was happening, you know, you look at the after effects of it, right? It's a huge plume of smoke, you know, and it's like, damn, this thing is just burning away. And you have these helicopter shots, bird's eye view, and it just looks like what John the Revelator, you know, described, that we're gonna be up watching down. Now, only difference is, it's not just going to be smoke that's coming from one area and then you have people walking around and looking on amazed. No, everyone on the land will be part of that smoke and that fire. All right, that's the reality. You know, they coming out and bringing, they do articles now talking about, oh, what states are very dangerous in case of a thermonuclear bomb going off. You know, they've labeled the states, which Lord willing I might do a video on that, okay, to show you the most dangerous states to be in. All right, and of course the number one state is the number one place is DC. All right, that's the most targeted place on the planet, damn near. All right, and the Lord is definitely going to do some damage to that place. Okay, it says Fortune asked, where do you get your medication? Where do you get your food? How do you refill your car? How do you control populations that might turn to crime? We're just not prepared, right? And that's going to be that chaos, calamity. See, everything is all going to add up all together at once. With one thing, one event causes all these things to happen at once. Now you got to think of the reality of that scenario actually happening. Remember, people are very delusional because they don't think of the reality of these kind of situations. You watch the movies. Do you ever think of, hey, if this was to happen in real life, how are we going to go about it? Just because in the movie, the plot makes it seem like somebody gets out of it. In real life, it doesn't work like that. Especially not when your government is the one that you be going to help for. They're the ones who are bringing the hell on you. Okay? The only way anyone is going to make it out through all this stuff that's happening is if you're the elect. And you got a lot of women who are about to get fucked up. We've been said that. Now the reality is setting in. They talking about, oh, yo, they coming against us now. Yo, y'all need to stop playing. You need to go back to your man. You need to start making league with him so that he could protect you, because the times that we're coming in, if you're alone, you're gonna get fucked up. Yeah, well, it's prophecy. You are meant to get fucked up. Look at your behavior. Look at how people behave nowadays. And when the time of judgment comes, now all of a sudden you have a reason. It's too late. It's way too late now for a lot of people. Okay? It says, It says we're just not prepared. No, you are just not prepared. All right, the rest of the inhabitants of this place are just not prepared. We've been warning about this for years. So if you're not taking heed, well, we'll see. It says Fortune, who has written multiple books on EMPs, urged people to pressure lawmakers and officials to update the US's infrastructure. They're not going to worry about that. Okay, they're busy sending aid to Ukraine. You think they give a fuck about Americans over here? To them, there's a quote. It says, "Why do you even bother to try to help these people?" All right, a lot of them, they don't even notice the difference. If you try to help them, they'll turn on you. And some of them, guess what? Most of them, they actually like the oppression. They love it. So don't even waste your time trying to help them out. Don't you see how they treat us? You're trying to give them the warning of what's coming. What do they call us? Conspiracy theorists. What do they call us? Hate group, hate speech, blah, 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 whatever. So you think you think we gonna care to see them suffer? No, hell no. What? It says people should also stock up on, this is official. This is an official telling people the things that we've been saying. And at that time when we were saying it, like I said, people never took it seriously. They call us nut jobs and crazy. Why? Because things hadn't happened yet. This is what it means to prophesy. You say the things before they happen. Okay? There's a scripture that says the Lord declares the end from the beginning. He says, he creates a new thing. All right, and let me see if I can get that real quick. Let me see. That before it comes, He tell us of it. Declares. Right. There's a book of Isaiah chapter 42 and verse 9. It says, "Behold, the former things are come to pass." What are the former things? The former things are what? The things that have been prophesied. Okay, you have was in Ecclesiastes, it talks about there's no new thing under the sun. That which has been is that which shall be. Okay, the former things, reincarnation and so on and so forth, but also the prophecies that have been spoken of in the times before our time. Okay, concerning these last days, the prophets spoke about these things. When you go all throughout the Old Testament, like we're reading right now, Isaiah 42, Isaiah 13, all these different precepts, all right, Second Ezra, and so on and so forth, those are things that were from the past. Okay, including even the Apostle Paul talking about in 1 Thessalonians, the 5th chapter, of that sudden destruction. We're fast approaching that. Okay, now it's sudden because most people don't pay attention to what's actually going on. But for us, it's not going to be sudden. That's why in the very couple of verses above, he says that brethren, I need not write unto you. We don't need to warn each other because we've been paying attention. But to the rest of the world, this is going to be a sudden destruction thing to them. Everything is going to feel sudden. Like, when did this happen? When was this going on? I didn't know. Yes, you did know. Yes, you did know. You have no excuse. Yes, you did know. Okay. The warning has gone out. You've been warned on all sides. Okay. Isaiah chapter 42 and verse 9 says, "Behold, the former things are come to pass, and new things do I declare. Before they spring forth, I tell you of them." Okay, that's why the Lord will send the prophets out. Before the things happen, He will tell you. He will warn you. And that warning goes out for who? The truth, for the elect of the nation of Israel. Those are the ones who will always take heed to that warning. But the rest, no, they don't care. All right, and that's why the Most High doesn't care about you, and He's going to destroy you. That's it. Okay, first you're going to suffer, and then you're going to be destroyed. All right, Klaus Schwab, the Most High is going to leave you to Klaus Schwab. He's going to take care of you. Okay, it says Fortune has written multiple books on EMPs, urged people to pressure lawmakers and officials to update the US's infrastructure. People should also stock up on approximately 2 months of emergency supplies, including food and water, he said. You hear that? At least 2 months. It says, although the technology for an EMP has been around for decades, Fortune claimed it only takes one detonation of a nuclear weapon to give U.S. enemies with nuclear capabilities the ability to attack the country. Now, I was hearing that they were saying that Iran was about 12 days away from completing the building up of a nuclear weapon. And we know that Iran is on the list of the countries that these devils was trying to destroy, okay, in order to set up their petrodollar, whatever madness, that Iran was going to be one of the countries that they were going to take down. Okay, I believe it was Syria, Lebanon, Libya, Iraq, Iran, and damn, who else was it? I think there was another country or two other countries that were in there. Somalia, I think, and there was another one. I'm forgetting right now, but there was a list of countries that they were saying that they're gonna have to invade. All right, 7 countries in 5 years, or 5 countries in 7 years, or some shit like that. Okay, this was during underneath the so-called Bush administration. All right, and then they brought Obama in. Okay, so Bush was for the foreign policy change, right, which Trump had to come back and pretty much almost low-key clean up. But Bush was for the foreign policy change, and Obama was for the domestic policy change. Okay, that's why you start after the time of Obama, you start to see a lot of the philosophy here in America change. All right, you start to see the whole same-sex marriage bullshit become legalized. All right, all this children being transformation, and all this stuff started to happen. Okay, because of this devil. Okay. Anyway, so let's continue. It says, although the technology for an EMP has been around for decades, Fortune claimed it only takes one detonation of a nuclear weapon to give U.S. enemies with nuclear capabilities the ability to attack the country. That's the setup they're going with. That's the narrative they're going to go with. All right. Oh, it's another country that we should be worried about. Once again, don't look inside and really question what's going on. Right. That's why they're going to do away with it once again with the men of the Lord. They want to, because they said what? We must do away with was it critical thinking, some shit like that. They were like people who think, you know, we gotta see what's up with them, because they're foiling our plans here. Okay, it says the only real way to avoid such an attack would be to update the U.S.'s infrastructure and warn enemies that the destruction of America. Oh, listen to this. And warn enemies that the destruction of America would cause irreparable damage on a global level, according to Fortune. You hear that? The destruction of America would cause irreparable damage on a global level. Yeah, that's what. You know why? Because when the Lord gets back, don't worry about no other country right now. This place is not going to be destroyed by any other country. Trust me. The Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, is the one who's about to destroy this place. So it's going to be a godly destruction, not no manly destruction, a godly destruction of this wicked empire. This place is about to be taken out, uprooted completely within 1 hour. And experts know that. You dumbass people over there don't know that. Okay? Experts know it. You don't know it. And they're hoping and praying that you never find out. Because if you do, you change your lifestyle. It says, quote, we need to say to opponents like China out in the open, if you're thinking of EMP, don't do it because you'll suffer as well, Fortune said. You think they care? You think they can control themselves when the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is the one who's mustering the host of the battle? Huh? The prophecy stand. Okay? Whatever country is going to kick this thing off, the prophecy stands, but ultimately we know the Lord is the one who's going to finish it. Okay? Within 1 hour, America is done. Okay? Tensions with China have increased recently after Chinese spy balloons were discovered in U.S. airspace in early February. Now, one thing we can say through the Spirit and according to prophecy, and is guaranteed, it's just a matter of time, is what? 3 things. You're going to see the mandatory implementation of the MOTB on this planet Earth, especially here in Babylon the Great. You're going to see World War III, okay? And you're going to see the destruction of America, Babylon the Great. These are 3 things I can guarantee you right now that we're going to see in our lifetime very, very soon. Okay? It says, China claimed the balloon was a weather balloon and not a danger to the U.S., but defense officials said they believe the balloon is a form of Chinese spycraft. Although Fortune said he does not believe the balloons are a risk by themselves, other security experts have warned that countries could smuggle a small nuclear bomb on one of the balloons. Using a balloon as a WMD/WME platform could provide adversaries with a palette of altitudes and payload options with which to maximize offensive effects against the U.S. Air Force. Major David Stuckenberg said in 2015, in a 2015 defense report. Okay, let me see something. He said what? It says what? To maximize offensive effects against the U.S. So why is the U.S. always on the defensive all of a sudden? Oh, this country's about to come get us. Oh, if you ain't done nothing wrong, why do you think China is going to attack you? China is all the way in the east. Russia is all the way in the east. You all the way out here in the west. Why are you so concerned about what they're going to do to you? Have you done something that you should be concerned about? See, the leaders of this damn country, they know what's going on. It's just the people. The people are just, it says, oh man, damn. Anyway, it says a high altitude balloon could be designed, created, and launched in a matter of months. There is nothing to prevent several hundred pounds of weapons material from being delivered to altitude, Stuckenberg said. Forstchen concluded that Congress has come close to passing EMP-related legislation, but the legislation eventually dies in a committee. Forstchen urged the Biden administration not to let that happen again. Guess what? You're done. Okay? It's gonna happen, but this time nobody's going to be delivered from it except for the elect. Okay? Here's a book of 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 3. It says, "For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape." Okay? "But ye, brethren, are not in darkness, that that day should overtake you as a thief." Okay, so that day when it comes, guess what? We're not going to be surprised. Okay? The wisdom and knowledge, okay, is what's going to keep us stable in these times. Then that wisdom and knowledge is what part of it is what knowing these prophecies, understanding these prophecies, and also part of it is knowing these so-called conspiracy theories that these people we talking about, man. Like articles like this, we don't take it lightly. You know, we don't take it like, oh, if it could happen, but you know, the country's always going to defend me. You know, America's the greatest country. Listen, we don't think like that. All right, we're very realistic. We don't think like these average people who don't venture into real life businesses at all. Okay, everything they do is they sit there and wait for the government to do something for them. They don't understand the war that they're in right now, whether willingly or not. You at war. Okay, you at war. Okay. So I'm going to bring that back in Isaiah 8 and we're going to close it out. Isaiah chapter 8 and verse 20 says, "To the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them." And that's why this place is about to be filled with darkness. And only the elect are going to have that light. Okay, the light and the guide and the way to what? To salvation. Okay, which is what? This truth. Everybody else who doesn't have this truth, you're on your way to destruction, man. Okay, you're on your way to destruction. And guess what? It's going to start in Israel first. Okay, there's a lot of bullshit going on over here, man. Okay, verse 21, "And they shall pass through it, hardly bestead and hungry. And it shall come to pass that when they shall be hungry, they shall fret themselves and curse their king and their God and look upward." So that this is a future prophecy. Okay, when you go into the other translations, all right, let's see. It says the NIV says, distressed and hungry. What's today? March 2nd. They said the SNAP benefits was ending March 1st. That was yesterday. So it's just going to take a couple more weeks for the people to start feeling the effects. And then you're going to see in the next coming months, oh, it's going to be sad. That was going to be sad. It says distressed and hungry. All right, Second Esdras tells you that. Okay, they shall what? Invade one another. For what? For lack of bread and for great tribulation. Okay, it says distressed and hungry, they will roam through the land. When they are famished, they will become enraged and look upward and curse their king and their God. They shall what? They shall not regard their kings nor princes. Okay? It says here, the ESV, they will pass through the land greatly distressed and hungry. And when they are hungry, they will be enraged and will speak contemptuously against their king and their God and turn their faces upward. Okay? But there'll be no salvation, bro. You're not going to be cursing the Most High and turn around for salvation. What the hell's wrong with you? All right? Go into that word fret real quick. All right? Because again, this is all going to lead to what? Cannibalism. Okay, cannibalism. Let's see. The word fret. All right. It says to be displeased, to be angry, fret oneself, be wroth. All right. And a lot of people are connecting the dots with this whole Pfizer disaster. Okay. The whole jump shot situation. A lot of people are starting to, connect the dots, and they're not fucking with the system no more. Okay. They feel like they've been deceived, and they're going to put up a fight now. So the government is going to do something to you. It says to be wroth, to be full of wrath, to be furious, to provoke to wrath or anger. Okay, to put oneself in a rage, anger oneself. Okay, so they shall be angry, all right, and they'll curse their king, okay, and their God, and look upward. Okay, verse 22, and they shall look into the earth, or onto the earth, and behold trouble and darkness, dimness of anguish, and they shall be driven to darkness. Okay, so in one shot, in one EMP attack, all right, you're going to see some hell, just like in ancient Egypt, man. Okay, and the Israelites were all good in the land of Goshen. Meanwhile, the inhabitants of Egypt, all right, were caught in darkness, very thick darkness that you could feel. Okay, and it tells you in Wisdom of Solomon, all right, about how uncomfortable it was, those apparitions and so on and so forth. Okay, and you're gonna see, man, when that EMP goes off, they turn on that CERN again, you're gonna see some shit. Okay, the elements are all coming together. People are gonna be bugged the hell out, man. They're gonna be bugged the hell out. Okay. But anyway, I'm leaving off there, Lord willing, you get edified. I'm gonna give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakak Kodash, the water Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Until next time, Shalom.